Hey friends, come around and gather for the children's message. It's good to have you with us. I'm glad you're here. Wish I could see you, but I feel you, so glad you're here. So, any of you like to go fishing? Yeah, it's not the time of the year, right? Well, yeah, where we used to live up in the UP in Michigan, now is the great time for fishing because they go out on the ice and they drill these holes and they go fishing. It's kind of scary to think about walking and driving on the lake, but it's so frozen and they can go fishing, so I don't get it. But anyway, so you can fish now or you could fish in the summer, right? Yeah. So that got me thinking, like a couple of years ago, remember when Pastor John was on sabbatical, and so he was off in the summer for a few months, and the one thing that Rebecca really wanted to do with her dad was to go fishing. Now, I haven't quite figured out why she wanted to go fishing, but she did. So, and when I think about fishing, if I think about going out in a boat and just being there peaceful and quiet and not worrying about anything and just hearing the birds, that would be my idea of fishing. I could do that. Beyond that, that's about as far as I can go. But Rebecca wanted to really catch the fish. So she and her dad went, but Pastor John talked to Elliot, and Elliot told them of a good place to go, and so that's the two of them where they went off to go fishing. And they put the bait on the line and they put it in the water, and they saw the fish swimming around, nibbling at the bait. But those fish were pretty smart because they never actually ate the whole bait and got caught on the hook. So they had their food and they had their fill, but they never got caught. So Rebecca was kind of disappointed. But when you think about it, when I think about it, putting those slimy worms on the fishing hook just isn't exciting. It's slimy and I don't know, I can't deal with that. But Pastor John was brave and he did it, and I'm guessing he taught Rebecca how to do it. I just couldn't do it. There's got to be another kind of bait or something to use. But in our story in the Bible today, it talks about Jesus telling us to come and follow him and to fish for people. Not fish for fish, but fish for people. So I'm thinking, what can you use as the bait to fish for people? Somehow I don't think those slimy worms are going to cut it. At least you wouldn't catch me with those slimy worms. Maybe somebody else, but not me. What else can we do? You don't want to hit anybody over the head with a hammer as bait to make them come and follow you. What else could you do? What could you use for the bait? You might want to give them some money and bribe them to come and follow Jesus? Nah, I don't think that's going to work either. What can we use? You can't use fish. You can't use money. You can't use a hammer. What can we use to fish for people? How about God's love? You think if you shared God's love, that would help people to learn to follow Jesus and to know about Jesus? And how do you share God's love? You could be kind to somebody and nice. If you see somebody who needs a friend, you can be their friend. Maybe you could share your lunch with somebody. Well, maybe not now, but you could share your lunch or be kind to them. And if they need some help, you could help them in school. And maybe now, this time of the year, eventually it's going to snow a lot, probably. And there might be neighbors or people that need help getting shoveled out. You could help do that. Or maybe the neighbor has a dog and when it's icy out, they can't take it for a walk, so you could walk the dog for them. Or you could go to the grocery store and buy some food and bring it to the food pantry to share with the people who are hungry. Or you could buy mittens or hats and share with people that are cold. So there's lots of ways that we can share God's love. And you don't have to be an adult to do that, right? You guys can share God's love too. And in that way, you're kind of fishing for people, aren't you? And you're using God's love as the bait, and people will feel God's love, and they will come, won't they? Yeah, and they'll know what you know. they'll know that God loves you and he's with you always, right? Yeah. And it's so cool to know that God is with us always. So you can go out this week and share God's love and bring in the people and fish for the people and do that for God, and it would be so cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, you can share God's love. So that's your bait. Go out this week and you be the bait of sharing God's love with other people and let them know, let them feel God's love in their life too. And sometimes you can share it and say it out loud. Hey, come and know that Jesus is with you. And other times, just by being you and sharing God's love, they'll feel God. And that would be very neat, wouldn't it? Yeah. So go and fish for people this week, and you be the bait and share God's love. Sounds good. Let me know how it goes, would you? Tell me what you did and how it felt and what happened. Who followed you and who now knows about Jesus because of you. Take care. Have a good week. We'll see you again.